Welcome to the Emily Rassam Show, the podcast that proves parenting, business, and home life can all be juggled, just not always gracefully. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share because laughter and maybe chaos is better when it's spread around. Hello, and welcome to the Emily Rassam Show. Today I am joined by my good friend, Mary McCullough, and she is going to start off by telling us a little bit about her background and who are you? She is also
Well,
the owner of Mrs. Clean LLC.
thank you. Yeah. So I'm Mary, and I am from a tiny little town in northern central Idaho. And I know you're probably saying, like, how the heck did you end up in Florida? Well, that's a long story, and we won't get into that. I lived in Idaho until I was 16. I went to a boarding school for the last 2 years of high school in Rhode Island. At that time, I discerned a vocation to consecrated life in the Catholic Church. And I went into a formation house after I graduated from high school and was in formation for 4 years, then went to my first assignment in the fifth year. And during that time, I finished my discernment. It wasn't for me. And I ended up going back home and was there for a year in Idaho and then moved to Oregon where I eventually met my husband. And from there we got married, had a family, and we moved to Florida. And that's how I ended up here. Most recently, in the last year and a half, I started my own cleaning business, which has been quite an adventure. And yeah, I can't wait to tell you more about it. So that's a little bit about me. I'm also
Okay,
one of seven. I'm the youngest of seven, and I have six older brothers,
I am the
which means
youngest
I
of
have
six.
four. Yeah, okay. All right. So
Yeah.
we get it. Youngest, yeah, youngest. I don't have any sisters, but I have four incredible sister-in-laws that are amazing. And my parents have 20 grandchildren because I am
Wow.
pregnant right now with the 20th. So
It's
it's pretty
impressive.
exciting. Yeah.
That is so cute. Okay, and first, I want to ask you a little bit about boarding school and how you decided to do that because was talking about this with my husband literally yesterday. And what got you into boarding school and what type of boarding school was it? You don't have to mention names, but tell us a little bit about that.
Well, actually, interesting fact, the boarding school I went to is no longer a boarding school. It was sold and bought by a winery, and they have turned it into a winery and hotel and a wedding venue and all this. So I have not gone back yet, but it's been so fun to see other classmates of mine and other years, the girls that were in other years of mine go back and like stay there again. It's totally different. I'm like, I don't know how I'd feel going back and like being not allowed to be in certain areas when I'm like, I used to live here. I went
Right.
everywhere. What are you talking about? So I ended up going there. Actually, I spent the summer going in when I was headed into 10th grade. I spent the summer in Rhode Island at this school for a summer program. It was an all girls boarding school, and so they had a 6 week, I think it was 6 weeks, 6 to 5 week program in the summer where you could kind of go and check it out and see if this would be something that you would want to do. So it was designed to help you discern toward a vocation in consecrated life.
Okay.
And yeah. And so it was all girls. There were no boys. It wasn't like we had a co-ed get together with the boarding school for the boys because there was a boarding school for boys, and that was in New Hampshire. And I had two brothers go to that. It was a minor seminary, and they went to that when they were 13. And so
Wow.
I waited until I was 16 to go. My dad couldn't let me go. I'm his only daughter. Like it was
Right.
just too soon. So I had to wait a year, really prove that I was serious about going. I loved it. It was so much fun. We were crazy. My class was always just like full of crazy people, lots of personalities. I have some amazing, incredible friends from there. I still keep in touch with some to this day. Like we all kind of stay in touch. But yeah, like, some like you've lived so much together. Like actually one of my friends from boarding school moved here to Ocala, and that's why I ended up here. She has since left
Okay.
me and moved to the coast. So it's okay. I'll forgive her. Love her a lot. And she's just a couple hours away. So it's okay. She was in the class below me. But anyway, that's how I ended up in boarding school. I had a cousin that went there. And so I knew about it. And I just begged and pleaded my parents to let me go. I was in a tiny town. Like I grew up in a
Right.
town of less than 1,000 people. Everybody knows everybody's business. It was just really small and the world was so much bigger. And I wanted to see what it was. So 3,000 miles across the country, and that's where I ended up. And I stayed there for 7 years. I was in Rhode Island for 7 years.
Wow.
and I enjoyed it. Rhode Island, I love Rhode Island. You cannot beat the fall in New England and the access to the museums and the culture and the history and everything. There's just so much there. And so that was really fun to have, my teenage years there and my college years there. I didn't have like crazy college because I was discerning a vocation and I had taken promises of poverty, chastity, and obedience during that time. And so very unique experience, not most people's typical college experience, but it was interesting nonetheless, and I owe a lot to that time in my life. Ultimately, obviously, I wasn't called to that. I remember telling the director of my community and when I was in Texas, I remember her saying to me, "Mary, you just reach a point where you could just do this for the rest of your life." And the joy that just like oozed off of her. And I literally told her I would die if I had to do this for the rest of my life. And she's like, well, it's pretty clear this isn't for you. And so, yeah, that's what ultimately led me home and
Right.
into married life by meeting my husband and going that direction instead of. So, anyway, I always joke that Jesus said to me, like, it's not me, it is you. Please leave. And I'm like, okay, gotcha. It's time to go. I'll see myself out.
It's always great when things are made abundantly clear.
Yes.
So then you don't have to guess at all.
Yeah.
And then you came here for Washington State,
Oregon.
Oregon, that's right. And, what made you start a cleaning business? Why did you
So,
decide to do that?
yeah, well, it literally was Holy Spirit, two conversations with two of my sister-in-laws. Like I said, I have amazing sister-in-laws, and I just joked with one of them that like maybe I should start cleaning because I grew up cleaning for my dad. He owned his own machine shop, and had his own business. And as a kid, I would clean the offices, the bathrooms, and the break rooms for that, like for years. We're talking from like age 10 to when I left, like 15 or 16. I
Mhm.
did that every single weekend. And so I'm like, oh, I kind of have some experience. And then in the in between time, when I moved back home from consecrated life, I didn't have a job. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And I had a family friend say like, "Hey, I really need my kitchen deep cleaned. Could you come and do that?" And so I did, and she still to this day says I was the best cleaner she ever had. So I take that like she's not one to give compliments lightly. So like I will pat myself on the back for that one. But so getting down here, I was working in office management remotely for a provider in Oregon that I absolutely love. I would literally work for him forever if I could, but it's hard being remote and I have kids
Right.
and I wanted to send my daughter to school and I didn't have the money to do that. And so I was like, well, what can I do? And I was talking to these two sister-in-laws and independently of each other, they both joked about it and I joked about it. And then I remember talking to one of them about it again and she said, just get the LLC. Even if you don't do anything with it, at least you have it. Doesn't cost a ton of money. Just do it. Maybe you do something with it. Maybe you don't. And I
Right.
said, okay. So I was talking to my girlfriend, the one that went to boarding school with me, and we were sitting around the living room at her house with the kids around Christmas time of 2024. And I said, I'm going to start a cleaning business. And her son goes, I think you should name it Mrs. And so that's what I did. I
Love
thought we
that.
laughed about it. We thought that was so hilarious because well, we all know Mr. Clean. It's like super
Right.
famous, right? It's brand and everything. So obviously I can't use Mr. Clean and I'm married. So I just said, okay, I'll do it. If it's not taken, I'll use it. And it wasn't. Why? That's what I did. So January 1st of 2025, I started my business. I swear divine providence was like God's hand was on me through the whole process because I mentioned it to some of my friends that they are two houses down from us, neighbors. And my friend goes, my mother-in-law has a company that she's always hiring cleaners to clean things, and she always needs more cleaners to contract. So she's like, I'm going to put you two together. Like, I already knew this woman. Her name is Rose Gallardi. She's incredible. I love her to death. And so, because of Rose, I got my first jobs. I got my first clients, some that I still have that I love, that I see every month or more than that. And from there, it's just kind of spiraled. I needed to make that first month to pay for tuition because my daughter went to school that January for the first time. And tuition at that time for that month was 375. That first month I made 375. And the next month I made over 1500. And I was working another job too at this time. And I don't have childcare. And my husband worked full time. So I was just trying to fit things in. And then since then, it's just snowballed to the point where um just April 1st was my husband's last day at his job because he's working for me now.
That's awesome. I
And
love that.
yeah, and next week is my last day at my side job because this is my full-time job now, and it's how we support our family. And I think what sets me apart, there's so many cleaners, and I love that. Like you need that. We have a huge population here. We have a lot of people who want cleaners. And there's more than enough of us cleaners to go around. Like I'm not the type of one that's like I'm fishing for jobs on Facebook. Like, I just want friends of friends and like people I meet. I want to have a connection with you and build something with you so that we know we're a good fit and I'm going to be the bright person in your home that you can trust. And I think another thing that sets me apart is that I'm a low tox cleaner. So, I mean, I have homes that I go into and I don't use a toxic product at all. Everything is non-tox, depending on the preference of each of my clients. So, most of the products in my cleaning caddy are non-toxic. I need to protect my health and I want to protect my clients' health. A lot of them have pets. Like I want to keep their pets safe, or they have children and I want their children to not have to worry about coming in the house or breathing the fumes. Actually, one of my friends had me deep clean her home because they're going to put it on the market. And she was like, I just feel so good knowing that my daughter and I can be in the house while you're cleaning because
Right.
none of the fumes are harmful and none of it is like going to cause any issues where in the past they've like left the house and had to be out of there because she was like, I can't have my daughter breathing that in. So that's something that I am really proud of with my business. I didn't know I was going to go that direction. I thought I would. And then, there are things that you learn along the way, like what products work. And I've done a lot of research to find the products that work well, that I like, that I can stand behind, and that I feel comfortable using in people's homes. So, yeah, that's a little bit about my business and a little bit about what I do there. I mean, one other thing like with that is I also I do residential, I do commercial, I've done post renovation, not my favorite, but I'll do it. And I have done a hoarder situation, but that was post all the removal of it.
Right.
If you would have seen the after photos without the before photos, you would have thought I didn't do anything, which is really sad. But it's just the situation of those kind of homes. It's really hard to bring something back to life when it's probably needs to just be gutted. But
Yes.
definitely an interesting experience.
And tell me a little bit about how divine providence has worked in your business because, and I will preface this by, I decided to start a podcast because I was praying about what business to start. And my husband has a bunch of things going on right now. So I was praying and praying and praying because I love business. And I heard start a podcast, see where it goes. And I am on episode 20, officially is going to be posted this week. So, and I have a few more recorded after that. So, can you tell us a little bit about that more in your business and your life and ways you have experienced that come to mind?
Oh, man, yeah, for sure. Well, I've definitely felt it in this cleaning business. I have felt it many times in my life. I think when you are discerning something in general, a vocation or a business or a job, you have these moments where God speaks or he speaks through other people and you just have to be willing to hear it. And sometimes he beats you over the head with it too. So there's been a lot of things that even it's the hindsight, you realize that was God working. So I'm going to share one that's really quite emotional for me. And then I'll talk a little bit more about the ones with my business. But when I moved to Oregon, I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. I was 23 years old. I had been nannying prior to that. And since I came home from consecrated life. And so I was thinking, well, I'm going to go to nursing school. That's what I'll do. So in the meantime, before I could go and get set up at school, I had to live in Oregon for a year so that I could apply to the community college as a resident, that I had lived there. So I could apply and not be out of state. So I got a job as a caregiver in a facility and started doing my CNA classes and prerequisites for that. I made some amazing friends. One of them is, we're still in touch, and she is done with naturopathic school to be a naturopathic doctor. So she's finishing up all of her final exams, like all the big tests to be able to go and practice. So I'm really proud of her for that. But during that time, I ended up becoming a CNA. I started working for a hospice company. And so I was around death and dying all the time for over 2 years. Then I had a back injury that made me have to rethink that career. And I ended up moving out of patient care and into office management, and I worked at a plastic surgeon's office. So fast forward a few years, I'm out of healthcare. I'm working as a tribunal coordinator for a Catholic diocese. And we get a phone call. I get a phone call that no one ever wants to get. And that was that my oldest brother was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And he was married and had 4 children. And so it was obviously a really emotional time in my life. During that time, I accepted a new position back in healthcare, working for a company as their administrator for an in home care agency that was coming into Bend, Oregon. I went to my training that was in another city. I walked in on many HIPAA violations and issues. I brought up those concerns and I was fired the next day. Um, this is all on the heels of my brother finding out he's going to die from cancer, that it's stage 4, it was terminal, and I'm jobless now, and I'm trying to figure out what the heck I'm supposed to do. And I was the type of person, if I applied for a job, if I got an interview, I got the job. I got an offer, and I always had my pick, like between a couple jobs, like which one was better fit for me, and I had the job. I started applying for all these jobs. I couldn't get an interview. And when I got interviews, I couldn't even get an offer. And I'm like, what is going on? Like I was distressed. I was in such turmoil. Like my brother is dying. I am unemployed. I'm on unemployment. Like what is wrong with this? Well, that was August through December that all of that was happening in 2019. January of 2020, he ends up in the hospital, almost dies. I drive up to Seattle and I stayed for 3 weeks there, yeah, while he was in the hospital, and I would be there for 24 hours at a time. And then I'd go home to my brother's house and sleep for like 6 hours and then go back and repeat. And during that time, we had a lot of really amazing conversations. And one of them was that he asked me if I'd be willing to move to Seattle and take care of him until he died. And that's what I did. And it's one of those things that you think back and you go, well, before this, I would have said, well, that was kind of weird that I was a CNA in hospice. Whatever, move on. It was a gift for my family and for him to have had the experience so that there was someone that knew what was going on and who could call the things that needed to be done, and to walk my sister-in-law through that, and his children and my parents and my siblings. Not an experience that I would love to live again, would 100% do it again, to be with my brother and have that time. But definitely God saying, like, you need this experience because this is the only way you're going to survive this and your family's going to survive this. My brother made me one of his 3 medical power of attorneys because he wanted me to make sure that this section of his life was taken care of, so that his wife didn't have to worry about it and his children didn't have to worry about it, and that he knew that I knew what to do. So yeah, huge moment where you look back and you say, my God, you had a vision. I didn't see it at the time, and thank you. And when you have things like this, moments like this in your life, it makes you more in tune to want to listen when he does talk. And you start to realize he speaks through experiences and other people a lot if you just listen.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a huge one, very emotional for
That's so
us. We're
beautiful.
coming up on 6 years since my brother passed. He died in May 17th of 2020. His name was Scott. Actually, if I'm pregnant with a boy, he will be Damien Scott after my brother. I will call him Scotty because that's what my mom always called my brother.
That's
And this
so
is my
cute.
oldest brother. We were 13 years apart. I was his baby doll. I was his everything. He was my everything. Like he was supposed to walk me down the aisle with my dad. His 16-year-old son walked me down with my dad because I got married 6 months after my brother passed. But
That's
so
such a
anyway,
beautiful story. I love that. Thank you
yeah,
for
yeah,
sharing.
yeah, we miss him a lot. It's hard, like, so weird, you get married, you have children, and you think, "Oh my gosh, they will never know him the way that the other ones know him." But it's funny, like, if I'm sad and my daughter sees me crying, she's always like, "Do you miss Uncle Scott?" Like, kids are the best.
They are
Like,
so sweet.
yeah, and honestly, I don't know how anyone gets through life and sufferings if you don't have kids in the mix. Like,
Right.
kids make everything better. So they are stressful
Yes.
and they can be little gremlins, but they do make everything better. But so divine providence, I've said, I feel like sometimes I've been hit upside the head by the Holy Spirit. I would have conversations like I was at a cleaning job. It was a post-construction clean. I called my brother who is a contractor in Idaho and I said, "Hey, I can't get this off. I don't think that I'm supposed to be able to get." And he's like, "No, no, 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 no. That's not your job." So we get to talking and he starts telling me, he's like, "You just need to quit your job, go full steam ahead. You're going to have to hire people, Mary. Like this business is going to explode." And I'm like, "Yeah, just slow down, slow down. Like I'm not ready for that." Well, I go and have a meeting with an accountant who's amazing. And I'm going to put a plug for her because she's phenomenal. Her name is Ty Damaris. Love her to death with Salt Accounting. She's phenomenal. If anyone needs an accountant in Ocala, she's tops. I swear the Holy Spirit works through that woman. So I have this conversation with my brother Pete. I go to my meeting with her where I meet her for the first time, and she says word for word the same thing that my brother said to me on the phone 3 days prior or whatever. It's like a week apart.
Right.
And I literally just start crying in her office. Like I've cried in her office every time I'm there because she's just the Holy Spirit's working there. I
Good
don't know.
good
It's like church.
tears. Good tears.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But like, she's like, "I can tell you're stressed." And I'm like freaking out because I'm like, the only reason this keeps coming up is because it's supposed to happen. It's
Right.
supposed to happen. So I have to do something. Like, I can't just sit here and pretend it's not going to happen. And that was in like November of this last year. And so here we are, fast forward, like I'm sitting here, like my husband quit his job, his full-time job. He was a manager at Mattress Firm for like years, and he's quitting his job to work for me. He's cleaning. Like he's Mr. Clean, but we can't say that, because that's trademarked. But like, he's over here, my other half. I'm like, do I change my business name to Mrs. Clean and Hubby? I don't know. But he's over here doing and pulling his weight and working all these jobs, and I'm doing the same. But we get to work jobs together. I mean, it's like the dream. Like, who gets to do that? We've been in a marriage and a dating, like we've been together for like 10 years, and we've never had a schedule that remotely coincided. We didn't have days off together ever. Like that was we had to like plan days off together. We'd have like evenings or like a morning, but we've never had like a weekend to hang out. And now we can do that. The flexibility and the freedom that comes with that is just huge. And so I think God's been like, "Mary, just do it already. Just do it already." Like it's going to happen. And it's crazy because I put in my notice at my other job, which I love. And it's just the time is right. The time is right to focus on this because I put in that notice and I've had multiple phone calls. I did 2 walkthroughs today. I have another potential client that's going to be reaching out. I have 2 others from other clients that are going to be reaching out. Like I've ran out of business cards. I have to make more. Because I've handed them all out and I've had so many blessings come from this. It's really hard to say like I'm not going to work hard on this because it's clear that this is what God is asking of me. And I don't know why. It's like he said, "You've worked so hard. I'm going to bless you. I want you to have this life that you've dreamed of for your family. We've tried all these other ways and it's not happening. Working for yourself is really where it's at." And I grew up in a home where my dad had his own business. Actually, it was funny. I was telling my parents like, "Hey, I think it's time that I put in my notice." And which I never thought I would do. I love my side job. I love it so much. Like it's a passion of mine. I'm an office manager for a chiropractor and I'm leaving that role behind, and doesn't mean I'm not going to see them ever. Like I live there
Right.
practically. Like, I need her in my life and she's amazing. But I was talking to my dad and he said, he said, "I reached a point in my machinist days when I when I had my first job, I was having an issue at work between a coworker and myself. And I went to my boss and I said, "Hey, it's either him or me. Like, I can't do this. Like, he's not letting me do my job." And his boss said, "Okay, goodbye." And my dad was shocked. He was like, "I just got fired. What? I just got let go." And he had to go home to my mom, who was, I think pregnant and hadn't. My oldest brother was born. I think she was pregnant with the second, and he's like, "I don't have a job. I have to like support these. I have to support my wife and children, and I have nothing." So yeah, he was like, "Okay, I guess I'm starting my own business." He's like, "I had a lathe. He took that, and he went." I love this. I love this story because this is faith. This is the epitome of it. Like when you go out on your own, you're not alone, but you have to have some faith. He said that he went to a gentleman that had like a grain storage building, and there was room for him to set up a little side machine area. And he said, "Hey, I want to rent this space from you, but I can't pay you. Promise that if you need me to repair anything, I will repair it. It will go top on the list. I'll get it done right away. But I'll have to charge you." And the guy's like, "Great." Like, I'm floored because I think the thing is we forget that the people that we are maybe asking for help on our journey have been there too. And
Right.
it's so that, we go through this and we see this as we age. We're going to have other people who are going to go out and say, like, "Hey, I really need some help. I want to do this. I really want to do it. I'm passionate about it." And they just need somebody to believe in them and give them that little boost of confidence, or that slap in the face, or that little bit of help that they need to go out
Right.
and do it. And I mean, that's how we have entrepreneurs, that's all part of it. But if there isn't somebody reaching down to help and encouraging you to do it, it's really hard to do it. But yeah,
It
so
is. Yeah.
my dad ended up building an extremely successful machine business that he ended up selling and like funded his entire retirement, and which my parents have then poured into all of us children and our dreams and our ambitions and our goals. So it's pretty awesome. And it's
Right.
nice to be able to look back at my family legacy and say, "Okay, I'm gonna carry that torch forward." And it I will tell you, like, my dad is not one to get emotional and to um offer praise. But he normally, I mean, like, I can probably count on one hand how many times I've heard my dad say he was proud of me before the age of like 25. He can't stop
Right. That's
saying
so
how proud he
sweet.
is of me, and that I'm just going for it with my family. And the fact that I have such an amazing supportive husband that's like totally been cool with me just going like, "I'm just going to be this boss babe. Like, I'm going to go do it." Like, sure, I show up and I look nice for the walkthroughs. And the next time I joke with my clients, the next time they see me, it's me, Jessica, and it's from Hot Chick, right? Like, because I don't look nice at all. I'm like just
Right.
this grubby lady showing up to clean your home. And that's my I'm in that era. Yeah. It's me, Jessica. But yeah, but yeah, it's been good. And then I mean the whole point of it was to pay for my child's tuition. And it's just snowballed from there, and it's turning into this is our livelihood. This is our business. And with this we have freedom. Sure, we're going to work really, really hard now, and that's great. That's okay. I'm not afraid to work hard. We're not afraid to work hard. This is what we want to teach and instill in our kids, that if you work hard, you can make your dreams come true. We live in the land of opportunity. You have to work though to get, like, opportunity knocks, but it's dressed in work clothes. My dad always would say that.
That's so
Like, you
true.
have to, yeah, you have to put on your gloves and get to work. Like, you can't just sit there and expect good things to happen. Like, it's Aesop's fables. God helps those who help themselves.
Right.
If you don't go out and do it, how can he bless it if you're not trying? So,
He gives you the
yeah.
skills. You have to use them.
Exactly. I love that line. He doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. Is that right? Yeah,
Well,
but
that's
we have to
basically
we have
like
to
the
listen and
entrepreneurship
go.
slogan there too. It's like
Yes.
the slogan of the entrepreneur.
Yeah,
Um,
like, you have to be willing to do hard work. If you're not going to be able to do anything. Like, there's a lot of people who sit there and think, "I wish I could, have the life that I want and all the money in the world," but they don't want to work for it. And it's
yeah.
sad. It's so sad because it's like God has given you so many talents and gifts. Why aren't you using them? And I fully understand feeling like I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I'm 37 years old and I still wonder that sometimes.
I
I
don't
don't
know what
know if
I wanna
I'm
be when I grow
yeah, like exactly. And
Right?
that's the beauty of it. You can learn and do things forever.
Yes.
My dad always says, he goes, I want to wake up each day and learn something new. I think that's what makes my dad young. My dad is turning 80 this year, but you wouldn't know it. And my mom is the type that, like, if she doesn't wake up and do something with her day, what was the point of it? Like, let's be productive. Let's offer our toil and the activities of our day up for other people. Let's give them to God so that he can use them. And that's those are the people that raised me. And then obviously my siblings, because I'm the youngest.
Right.
So
Right.
they had a lot of years to influence me as well. So I mean, and I have my siblings were always just go-getters and I I don't know, I looked up to them a lot. Like my oldest brother, I would call him all the time and ask for advice. Actually, when I was trying to decide if I should put in my notice or not, I called his wife, my
That's so
sister-in-law. She's been my
beautiful.
sister since I mean, I call her all the time for stuff. She's my sister. Like we've been sisters since I was like 11. She can't get rid of me. I don't think she wants to. She does love me. But like cuz I used to always call her and Scott to talk about my life and the decisions that I needed to make. And so I still do that. I wish he could be on the call, but it's okay. Like she knows. And I distinctly remember him asking me. He goes, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." He goes, "No, no, don't think about jobs. Think about the purpose, like the goal of it. Not the job itself, but what do you want whatever the job is to bring to your life or to offer?" And I said, "I just want to help people. I don't know what that looks like, but I just want to help people." And it's funny because each job has been me helping people
Right.
different ways, like hospice, office management, so medical, working with patients, making sure they have what they need, especially with surgeries. We worked with a lot of breast cancer patients and plastic surgery. So, like, taking care of them, making sure they had what they need. And then I ended up, like I'm back in office management again, but now in my cleaning business, like it's something simple, but most people, like, I don't want to clean my home. I have way too much stuff to do. I know it's a luxury. It's not
Right.
like having a cleaner is a luxury. I don't want it to feel like it has to be a luxury because I hate cleaning my home. I love cleaning other people's homes. I don't mind. I was talking to a client today and she goes, I had to clean this nasty toilet. I don't want to clean a public bathroom. And I'm like, I know, let me do it because she doesn't want to. I'm like, this is what I live for. I don't care. It could have crud on it from years ago that sat there and I'll clean it off. I
My
don't
s
mind.
You know what's funny? My son, I started having him clean his bathroom, and he gets excited to scrub the toilet because he's in the potty humor phase. And I was honestly
Awesome.
impressed. He did a pretty good job. He even got
Yeah.
our little brush out, and he was detailing it.
Oh, I love it.
So
Well, when he grows up and he wants to work for me, send him my way.
he already has business ambitions. He is like
Sweet.
chomping at the bit, asking his dad to help him set something up.
Maybe I can sell him my business when he's old enough.
Maybe he
If
wants a
we don't want it
scooter.
anymore.
He wants a scooter really badly, and I told him he had to buy it.
I love that.
So he's like, I need a
I love
business
that.
mom. And
Yeah,
it's so
he's like, I
cute.
need to find a way to earn money. Yeah.
Yes.
I was talking with a client and she was saying that it's really hard, excuse me, it's really hard for her to clean because of things from childhood and the way that like she felt like cleaning was a punishment. And she's like, I don't want that to be what my home is like now and with my children. And I thought that was really fascinating because I mean, we cleaned a lot growing up because my mom really is the professional cleaner. Like she could have had a business. She would clean the church. She would clean the rectory for the priests. She would do all of those things. Just she wouldn't get paid for it. And she should have. Like she should have had her own business. Like I would have worked for. The where they lived needed her big time. Like they needed they needed her. And she probably would have made amazing money. But I just think of how that client said that and how she doesn't want to instill that in her kids that cleaning is a punishment. And she's like, so how do you make it fun? And I'm like,
We clean together at
Okay.
our house. We clean.
Yeah.
We put on Mission
Yeah.
Impossible song, and we're like, "Can we get this done in 4 minutes? 3 minutes
See?
and 42 seconds? Okay, go."
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
I
I
love that.
I am, like, all over the place, because your mom is such a good cleaner and organized because she had to be 'cause there are 7 of you,
7 children. Yeah, exactly.
and everybody has to pull their weight when there are that many. It's
Yes.
just how it is. And so it's not really a punishment, but then it's like, okay, if we don't do this, it's just chaos and
And
disgusting, and we
squalor.
cannot live this way.
That. Yeah. Well, and it's hard because if you didn't grow up in a clean home, it's really hard to see the dirt too.
It
Like
is, yes.
it's normal that clients say, "Well, it's not that bad." And then you walk in and you go, "Well, you have dead lizards on the floor." It is bad. It is bad. This is deep clean, a standard. So I mean those kind of things. It's just I think that's the best part is that I see the dirt. And if they don't see it, that's fine. But they will see the clean.
Right,
100% they will see the clean.
right,
That's just what I want to give them. I want to give them the sparkle and the shine and the clean. I want it them to be able to walk in and know that I was there. They don't have to know how I did it, but they just need to know that it was done. I don't want anyone to be like, "Oh, did they even come?" That would be the worst. And I hear that. I hear that from clients that are switching over to our services that they were on someone else's services and they felt like they had to clean after the cleaner left.
right,
And that is the worst. And I hope that, and I never meet a cleaner that that's their situation, that they don't know what they're doing and they're just doing, and like, that's the thing, that's the difference between a cleaner and a professional cleaner. I'm a professional and I don't know what makes me a professional cleaner to that. I think it's just that I know what's clean. I know how to clean. I know my products. I do the research. I follow other professional cleaners. I get tips and tricks from them and then I implement them in my own business. And when I started out, sure, I wouldn't have called myself a professional in January of last year, but I sure learned a lot in like a 2-month span and honed my skills.
right,
And that's all part of it. Like that's all part of it. I have, these some of these clients I've had since the very start, and they haven't said that the house is cleaner than it was the first time. So I mean, I obviously was doing something right then. But I want to go back to what you're saying with what you do with your kids. I think this is a great spot to talk about some tips
right.
with
Let's talk about them.
yeah, like I think with families, like we have a lot, like I'm sure you have a lot of listeners that have kids, lots of
Yes,
kids,
yes,
and we have busy lives and we might be working full time or we might have a part-time job or we're in the school system. So or we just live around our kids' schedule and the sports and all that. One tip that I don't implement because I don't have a lot of kids, I only have 2 and I'm pregnant with third. So I know that eventually we'll have to reach this point is you do a load of laundry every day. That's one to stay ahead of things. I have to do this just for my cleaning business. Like I have to do a load of laundry every day. So I have clean rags and clean items. The other thing is learn the tips and tricks for the right detergent for your things. Like,
yes.
don't wash your clothes on hot if they shouldn't be washed on hot. Like, most kids' clothes probably need to be washed on delicate. Like, just those kind of things, like pre spraying things, like, does help your clothes last longer, like those kind of things. But then with cleaning, I love what you said is you turn on some music, you set a timer. We had company coming over on Monday. It was a busy day. I worked a half day at the office. My husband was home. My daughter was at school. My oldest daughter, the 20-month-old was home. Now, Ellie, she as you clean, she goes behind you and undoes everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fun.
God punishes us mothers for cleaning our house too well, I
I know,
swear.
right? Yeah, it's like
We're just
there
not
has to be a
supposed
mess
to. We're
somewhere.
not supposed to.
It's like we it looked nice for a minute. I don't even remember what show it was, but it was so funny. It was an episode of she had cleaned the kitchen. The kitchen was perfect and pristine. She went out to take the trash out, and from the time it took her to go out to the trash, the entire family came through the kitchen, knocked a potted plant down, poured the cereal on the floor. The husband popped open a bag of chips, and when he did it, it opened on the bottom, spilled everywhere. He ended up getting another bag, like, and she comes back, and the entire kitchen is covered. I mean, it was beautiful.
This is
And she
my
comes back
life.
and it is just an absolute disaster. And what she does, and I mean, this is a tip. she just grabbed the wine bottle and walked out. So sometimes you just have to do that. You got to decompress and then come back. We, on Monday, were trying to get the house ready for friends to come over for dinner, and we wanted to have the house at least neat and tidy. And my daughter's room literally looked like the hurricanes went through. It was something. I wasn't feeling good. I was laying on her bed and I was just telling her, like, could you pick up three things? And so she'd find three things to pick up, and then we'd find the homes for those three things. Then we would see if we could find all the tea set, like, and we would like play a game to find them. She ended up picking up her entire room and it looked great. And I didn't have to do anything other than lay on her bed and talk her through it. Like, your kids are capable of so many
Yes,
things. They just need the right motivation.
they do.
Um, yeah, you can't start them too early, seriously. Like, you give a damp rag to a toddler and they go hog wild wiping the kitchen cabinets down.
My
Like, they can reach it,
11-month-old
they
loves
see it.
scrubbing the floor. He just, they all.
Yeah, you get them a sponge or a rag and they go to town on
I
it.
have him clean his tray after his meal.
I love that.
It
Yeah,
sure
and then
is
the other
messy,
thing is
but he
just,
likes it.
yeah, he enjoys it. I mean, you may have to clean it up a little bit after, but at least he's learning something about it, right? Our recent thing is, adding in some responsibilities. What I found is my daughter responds really well to that. Like, she wants responsibility. So I phrase chores as a responsibility. And I always think of Rugrats. I have responsibilities now. I'm dating myself. So she loves that. Like, her responsibility is that she clears the table after every meal and she puts the condiments in the fridge. If there were condiments used or anything from the fridge used, she puts that in the fridge. And she loves that. And I'm like, this is amazing. I don't have to clear the table. All I have to do is go through with the rag and we're done. And next year, she'll get the rag and she'll clean the table with the rag. Like, it's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
like, use your kids. It's like slave labor. I mean, you
Seriously,
can edit
though,
that out.
it is really good for them. And I mean, all of the studies show that giving kids chores is so important for their future confidence.
Yes.
And, they're learning skills. Like, I have my one kid or two of them, they sit and chop stuff for salads at the table to keep them out of my hair. It's
I
a
love
really
it.
chunky salad, but I know they'll improve over time.
Yeah, they're learning.
They
So how
are,
else will they learn? Yeah, no.
right.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, I'm always like, if it can't fit in your mouth, it's too big. And they're like, it can fit. Look, if I fold it, it fits.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
And I swear, like, all of my children so far that can talk could be attorneys one day.
See, I mean, this is helping them.
Yeah, I'm already like, no projectiles in the house because they're like, I did not throw this, so you cannot say throwing. I nudged it with my knee or whatever. So we have to be very specific with the way we phrase things.
That is hilarious. Kids are so smart. People don't give enough credit to them.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
they may not read or
yeah.
write, but they will read you your rights
That's awesome.
anytime, any place.
Yeah,
Especially when you're in a hurry.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, I love those tips. Thank you for sharing them. And one thing I always ask my guests is, what book are you reading right now, or that is your absolute favorite book that you would recommend?
Oh man, I'm reading all the time. I love to read.
Me too.
When I clean, I wear my headphones and I listen to books. I was talking to a friend and I was saying, like, what kind of books are you reading? And she goes, well, I just read nonfiction. And I'm like, oh,
Me
I'm not one
too.
of those.
Me too.
Yeah, no. Like, I love fantasy. Yeah, like, I love a lot of stuff. I'm not a huge spicy reader. It's not my thing. I have friends that are very kind that they'll tell me, like, you need to read this series, but you're only going to read these chapters. So I love them for that. I love those friends that take care of me in that respect. So yeah, I'm in a book club and we have a neighborhood book club and I'm trying to think. I read the book. It was Daughters of Sparta, actually. It's about Helen of Troy and Clytemnestra. It's the author is a historian actually, and she was like, I just wanted to write a book that's based on history, but it's fiction, but it's from the perspective of the women because we always get the stories from the perspective of the men. So I was like, I was waiting for like all the like, Achilles battle and like all this, and there was like nothing. And it was actually quite interesting. because she glossed over all the stuff that had all the important stuff about the men. So it was interesting. We haven't discussed it yet. That reminds me, I've got to talk to my book club because we did not discuss it, and we said we were going to get back together and discuss it after Easter, and Easter has come and went, so we have to do that. But if you're going to read a book and you want a great book and you want a book that there is so much that you can learn from it, you have to read The Count of Monte Cristo by
Oh, I
Alexander
haven't read
Dumas.
that one in a long time. It's a good book.
It is. And I think it's a sin, probably a mortal sin, because I'm Catholic, if you read an abridged version. I think you should go straight to hell. That's just, I don't understand how anyone would want to read an abridged version of this book. I wasn't in this group, but you know how Facebook is and they like suggest groups that you should join? I was horrified, absolutely horrified that there were people talking about the Count of Monte Cristo and saying it was boring. I'm like, it literally has everything. It has amazing side stories. It has an amazing main character. It has this, it's incredible. It is Christian anthropology of man right there. It's created, all unweaned in the character of Edmond Dantes. I wrote my thesis in college on this book because that's how much I love this book. There is so much you can glean from it. It is a treatise on humanity and man and on Adam, the fall, sin, and the new Adam in Christ. It's phenomenal. Yeah, I love it. And I'm a bit of a nerd. And my college, like I said, I was Catholic. I was discerning vocation to consecrated life in the Catholic Church. And so in college, I studied theology, philosophy, all these things. I took one of the Vatican II documents called Gaudium et Spes, Joy and Hope. And I used numbers from there to back up everything in that book that was written before all of this was written in the church. I mean, obviously, it's pulling from like deep Christian principles that have come since, time of Christ. But yeah, that we are created, fallen, and redeemed, that we have, have a moral conscience. And if we don't form it, we won't follow it. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, phenomenal book.
I love
Best
that.
book.
I just
Yeah.
got a great tip today, and I am looking forward to starting a book club now. Someone told me they went to a book club and everyone reads a different book, whatever they want, and they give a short blurb about the book and give you a little pitch as to why they liked the book each time
I
you
love
get
that.
together. And I said, oh my gosh, this is for me because, it's really hard to get a book everybody wants to listen to or read.
Yeah.
And I know darn well, like, I don't ever finish the whole book, like, especially if I need the paper copy because, things happen when you have a lot of little kids, and I can usually get audiobooks done, but not all books have that. So I love that idea. I am definitely taking that and running with it. And
a little trick there are different e-reader apps that you can get that will read you the book.
Good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't do actual audiobooks because they give me a headache. So I just have the e-reader read it to me and I select the voice that I want. It's okay, so they mispronounce some things. Like they'll say dove instead of dove, or they'll say dove instead of dove, or they'll say read instead of read, or but it works. And that's how I get through a lot of books.
I like that.
If I can't get the audiobook, which I don't prefer anyway. Like I said, they give me a migraine. It's so weird. But yeah.
And another one I like is LibriVox. I don't know if you use them, but it's people and they volunteer and read out of copyright books.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to have to look that up. You're going to have to send me that.
LibriVox, free voice, like free LibriVox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Latin.
They're on YouTube.
Okay.
Totally free. And you can even volunteer and read a chapter and someone else edits the book.
So that's fun.
Yeah, it's like an all volunteer thing. So each chapter is read by a different person, but it's a great way to like listen to the classics that are available.
I like that. I'm gonna have to look into that.
And I want to say even the Hardy Boys are technically like out of copyright now, so they have starting around that era and before that.
Well, that is really cool. Like I have nephews that love the Hardy Boys. They have a ton of the books, but there might be some that they don't have that they could actually just listen to.
Yes. So
That's
they have
cool.
all kinds of books, like the history of a succulent fish or like tons of stuff, any topic.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What's a book that you have not finished that you you were enjoying, but you just didn't finish?
I'm reading a parenting book right now. I don't remember the topic of it, but I read like the first section and I was like, wow, this is great. And then it got repetitive. So I just put it down because it's like yay thick, probably
Okay.
2 inches thick. I'm like, who wrote this for parents? It's a great
Do they
book.
know parents?
I know. I'm like, it has some great tips in it, but I'm like, I can't read the same thing over and over
Mhm.
again. And that was why, like, when I wrote the book that I wrote, I kept it at 1 hour and 20 minutes maximum read time. I did the math for the amount of words I could put in there and divided it evenly so I could keep it short. Because I said I want it on a short car trip with interruptions or like a quick little flight to be done.
I've read it. It was great.
Good.
Yeah. I need to leave you a review. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I actually talked with someone about that today and they were like, "Why aren't you promoting it?" And I said, "Well, I'm not at that phase right now,
Mhm.
and it hasn't been set, on my heart to advertise it."
I thought it was
Yeah,
neat. Like, it was a little insight into your story
it was
and your
really fun to
journey. I loved
write.
it.
It was fun to
Yeah.
write, and I wrote it with the intention of hopefully helping young people think about some of the bigger picture questions that
Mhm.
you have to ask. Because I didn't have anyone there helping me think things through like it's important who you marry. It's important who you do this. Like, it's important what
Mhm.
you study or where do you go to school or all the things. It was kind of trial by fire, which was fine with me because I'm really an entrepreneurial type person. So it worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out good.
Yeah.
Well, and then my last question before we sign off is what is something that you're really passionate about that you like to tell everyone about? And it can be any topic really.
Well, for those who know me quite well, I am quite passionate about natural birth and that sphere. I've had two babies and I'm pregnant with my third and I've had all of them in home births and it was amazing. And I think that there is a lot of unnecessary fear in the birthing world and a lot of pressure on moms, especially moms who it's their first time and they don't know any different and they get in these hospital situations which actually lands them into these cascade of interventions and then they're like, oh my gosh, they told me I would have died if I hadn't been here. And I'm like, yeah, you might have, or it could have been that all of these things that happened caused that. And it makes me sad because so many of these moms deal with so much trauma and they don't even realize it. That wouldn't have been there
Right.
if they had just gone natural birth, midwife, home or birth center, whatever you feel comfortable with. It's just, it breaks my heart because I had such incredible experiences. And I talked to friends that didn't, and they've been told that if they hadn't been there in the hospital, they could have died. And I'm sitting here going, well, the only reason that any of this happened was because you let them induce you. Then you had to get the epidural because it was too painful. And then so on and so forth. And then the heart rate dropped or it skyrocketed and now we have to have an emergency C-section because you literally disconnected the baby from your body and what labor is supposed to be, this beautiful connection between you and the baby and the contractions naturally working to push your baby out. So I'm super passionate about that. I think in another life, if I had the time, I would be a doula or a midwife. And who knows, down the road, maybe I'll change my career again. But I absolutely love birth. And I think it's probably because I've had two incredible ones. Like I've had my first labor was 6.5 hours and done. And my next one was 3.5 hours done. I have
Right.
horrible pregnancies. Let me
Well,
just,
yeah.
okay. So I have terrible pregnancies. I think God has mercy on me. And like I said, God works in my life. And I think He knows that if I had horrible labors too, or they were really long, that I'd never do this again.
Oh, yeah. I feel
So,
you.
yeah.
My first, they called him the drive-through baby because I was there for 15 minutes.
My gosh, I love it. This is what I love. I love birth stories. I love this.
Yeah. So, like, I feel you on that. And in regard to your comments, I want to say that the whole like education around having children is not there. and we really don't, like, have that wisdom passed on from other women much, at least myself, no one ever talked about that, like, I usually was told, like, "Don't ever have children. It's probably not a good idea." So, like,
Horrible.
that's what I heard. So you didn't have other moms out there who said, "Oh, no, like, having a kid is great, and this is what happens." Like, I knew it from studying medical things because I was gonna go be a doctor before I discovered how much I love business. I did all of the hard
The
undergraduate
journeys.
work, and, so, like, just don't hear that if you're not in the sphere or have someone close to you that can relate those things to you. It's just totally not there.
Yeah.
And even, like, the education, you just don't know where to look, and you're on Google, and you don't have anyone to call or whatever. So it's like it's really a lack of education for women in the reality of motherhood, and I feel like a lot of times that is missing for people because, I mean, like, we are different from men. I'm gonna go ahead and say that even if I run for politics one day. We are different.
100%. Totally agree.
We are different.
I mean, yeah.
And
Read
so
the book Fast Like a Girl and you will see.
yeah,
We are not men. We can't be men because our hormones are completely different. You can't just pump yourself full of the hormones we have. Anyway, that book is phenomenal too. Fast Like a Girl, phenomenal.
I will have to check it out. And so, yeah, it's like just something culturally a lot of people miss out on, and the celebration of family and having new kids and like, so just, it's like an education thing. And that's part of what I wanted to do with my podcast is like educate on family related things, but also business because you and I are both moms, but we do a lot of business stuff too at the same time. And we're also here, like, trying to improve our spiritual life and our personal life. And so that's why my show focuses on all of those things because it's really like motherhood or parenting in a nutshell. You have to do it all at once.
Hmm. We wear
And
many hats.
we do. And so do dads. But we have different roles and it's great to be able to hear from other people who have experienced that or are experiencing it and know you are not alone. And I know that was a long spiel there, but
Oh,
it's
beautiful.
so like something I'm passionate about is the whole education and
I think that
all
that
of
is
that.
crucial because I had sister-in-laws that did home births. That's the only reason I went that direction. But during that time when I was pregnant, I stumbled upon a breastfeeding course and I was like, "Oh, I want to do this. I want to do this course." That course gave me more information about birth than anything I've ever read or heard. It
Right,
taught me the stages of labor. I had no idea. I had no idea what I was going to walk into. I was so prepared because of that, so that I knew what was coming. I knew to listen to my body.
right,
And I would hands down recommend that course to anyone. It's called the Thompson Method. It's out of Australia. Dr. Thompson was an amazing human being, but she was a midwife that she had practiced in all the spheres that you could like in the hospital, in birth centers, in homes, basically in the wild, it seemed. And she had the most amazing life. She has since passed, but the course is still her and take the class. It's amazing. And she talks about breastfeeding. That's her whole passion was breastfeeding. But I didn't even get to that part. I had my baby early and I was still in the pregnancy part. And it prepared me in ways that I don't think like anything else prepared me. Like my midwife didn't even prepare me in the way that that course prepared me.
right.
And I had an amazing midwife. So, I mean, I've talked about that course too until I'm blue in the face. I have told so many new moms that are in like their first, they don't know. Also, they don't know if they're going to breastfeed. They want to, and I feel like society has really let women down in the fact that I just felt like, oh, breastfeeding's natural, like it'll be easy.
It's so
That was
hard,
it
but
is,
then
and
once
you
you get the
feel
hang of
so
things,
alone.
once you get the hang of it, you're like, "Okay, I'm walking around, you're in a wrap, eat your
Yeah,
food,
we've got this.
I'm
Yeah,
cooking
but
dinner, you're eating."
I mean, let's say
And,
your
you
baby
know
has a tongue tie or something like that, and you're like, why am I in agony? Why is this hurting? Why are they not gaining weight? Why is my baby failure to thrive? Like, why
Right,
am I having infection? Like, and you feel so alone, like you don't know that you have anybody to support you.
right.
I'm very passionate about that too, because I work right now I'm working for a chiropractor, and this is all stuff that like she helps with.
Hmm.
and it's amazing. And this, I mean, it coincides with birth. It it all connects. But I don't want to take more time.
Yes, yes.
But yes, definitely stuff that I love.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And this is Mary McCullough, and she is the owner of Mrs. Clean LLC, in case anyone needs to know this locally. But you can also check out her social media. She has before and after pictures, which I know are a big hit on social media.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to post more. Oh my gosh. Now that I'll have more time, maybe I'll get around to it.
Thanks for joining me today on the Emily Rassam Show. If you laughed, learned something, or at least didn't roll your eyes too hard, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, keep the coffee strong, your kids alive, and the dreams big.